incorporated little like raindrops as part of it. It's a very nice design. This is a good one too. Okay, guys. It has a border around it, and then it has some lettering and the floral design is part of it too. Okay. I think that's a nice one. This one I think is a good idea so far. I don't think she finished the lines. You know, she really just draw out the lines as part of it, but I think the idea is very nice. And then there's this one here, which actually is just a design, and that's one thing we can talk about. If you're going to do something that's just the design, when you're really kind of, like you started, I think this is a very interesting design, but maybe adding patterns as part of the design. You know, what if she incorporated some of the, like the stars that are in this piece as part of her design and some of those different patterns? I think that might make it more interesting. But all of those are really good ideas. And once you guys come over to wedging table now, so I can show you how to do the project.
Oh, geez. Hey, boy, you think that looks better? With a big star? Yeah.
I'm so excited I can't wait to go.
Yeah, you're
oh my God, I did not mean to do that. Like that. Oh, yeah. I'll put that.
Alright, guys, try and switch it around here so we can get close. Switch things. This is very small demonstration. Alright, obviously the first thing you need to do is to roll out your slab. You know, about 1/4 of an inch. It can be a little bit thicker. This one is more like 3/8 of an inch, which is fine. But that's how it needs to be. And also you need to make sure that your slab is nice and even. Alright, it's going to look really bad if one side of your slab is really thin on one side and very thick on the other. Okay, so the next thing you do is cut out your slab and the bars I've got with this. Alright, so at this point, the next thing I want to do is take a sponge and smooth it out so it's all nice and rounded out around the edges. You really don't have to dampen your sponge that much. You want to make sure I'll set up some new sponges so that way you can use these instead of the old sponges, because obviously they're going to have the red clay. Again, I'll remind you guys, when you are rolling out your slab and when you're cutting out your piece, it is so important that you get all the red clay off of those rolling pins so that way it doesn't transfer onto your pieces. Okay? Alright, so you want to take a slightly damp sponge, smooth it out so you have a nice smooth work surface to work on, and also kind of smooth out the edges of where you cut it out. Alright, and then one thing I haven't done on this piece yet, which I need to do, is also put a hole in it so that way we can hang these. Okay? A straw is fairly large at this point because I think it's going to make too big of a hole. So you're actually going to create one using either a pointer tool or maybe a toothpick. I have those for you guys to use today too. So what you want to do is you want to kind of measure out the center of your piece, either with a circle or if you're doing a square like I am, you want to measure out the center of the piece. You probably want to do this first so that way you make sure that you revolve your design around wherever the hole is going to be in it. You don't have to, you know, obviously, you don't want to necessarily make a hole, the hole that you're going to hang it by part of your composition, but it helps if you're drawing on it. Okay? If you don't want to do one hole in the center, you can do 2 holes on either side, which now I think you guys are doing on this one. Okay, just tie the ribbon up at the top for it. Okay, so then the next thing I would suggest is drawing out your design. Do we have their designs with them? Over here? Nobody? Yeah, so they have a round design. Yeah, alright, so the first thing that Megan would want to do is come in here and start slightly drawing out her design to kind of make sure that she fits everything that she wants on there, onto her piece. Okay, she's got a tree over here. So I want to lightly take a pointer tool. You could also take, there's going to be several different tools that I'm going to give you guys to use when doing this. So that way I know where everything goes and make sure I leave space for everything that's going to be in my composition here. You don't necessarily have to be the line that we're going to dig out for the actual torpedo part of it, but alright, so that way I'm sure that I plan out my composition and I don't start, you don't want to start on one side drawing out your composition full detail and fully, getting all this, designs in it before you draw the whole thing, because sometimes if you do that, you tend to run out of room and not leave space for everything, okay? So now that she has her design drawn out, she can go ahead and start on her image. Now, I've gone ahead and started on one myself, which is different, and you kind of see it's tree with one on one side and then stars on the other side, okay? So that's what I'm going to do, and you can see in the tree I've already kind of drawn the torpedo lines, with the lines, small lines where the black, underlines we're going to put run into there is going to remain, and then of course any of these higher areas, like right here, will remain white. Okay? You want to kind of experiment with varied lines. There are several different tools you guys are going to be using for this, and some very unconventional sounding tools, but they actually work very well for getting different size lines. If you want very thin lines,